Okay. Welcome everyone. So if you can hear me, you can just indicate in the chat if you can hear me. Kindly signify in the chat if you can hear me. Hello, Mike testing. If you can hear me, kindly listen. One person can hear me. Awesome. Now today we'll be vibe coding with Grok. So for people that have a subscription, like some people can in the previous class, I taught you a little bit how to vibe code using Grok, how to set up your VS Code and everything, how to create a folder on your desktop and open with VS Code and all. So if you missed that, you can go back to the previous recording and catch up. So now today we'll be proceeding on how to vibe code with Grok. So now I'll be vibe coding live using this Colosseum hackathon. So this is the hackathon I want to participate in, and I want to vibe code this project called AdBlink. And I posted it in the WhatsApp group, and some people, I don't know if some people have started building, but for those of you that have not started building, you can watch this to know how to build yours. And also, I created another mini group for I and my other builders, and so we are currently 3 in the group, including making 4, and we will be building AdBlink. Now, every week you have to do a weekly video update on your project. And they said at the end of each week of the hackathon, you have the opportunity to share your progress in a 1-minute video using one of these supported platforms, either YouTube, Loom, or Vimeo. They said, while this is optional, we highly recommend it in a way to give judges more context on the progress of your project. The submission form will be available in the last 3 days of each week. So now they said you should do a 1-minute video, maybe a screen record, then upload it on YouTube or Loom or Vimeo and paste the link here and submit it here. And so the submission window closes in 1 day, 14 hours, and 51 minutes. Now, if you are participating in the Colosseum Hackathon, you should do this because I believe, even though it's optional, I believe it's a way to also judge, is a way to pick projects that are actively building. So you should be doing is it just takes you 1 minute. Just give them a brief intro of your project and submit the link here. So you should be doing that. Now back to vibe coding. So let's get started. Now open your PC and click on go to x.com and click on Grok. Of course, like I said, Grok is free. So I'll be copying a prompt, which is the prompt of my idea. I'll be copying it from where I pasted it, and I'll be pasting it here on Grok. And there we go. Now, once I've pasted it, I'm going to tell Grok, this is a project I want to build, and I need the best tools to build it. So I want to give Grok a lot of context as possible. Now, there we go. So I've given it as much context as possible. Now, this hackathon it was sponsored by Solana. So definitely, if you want to build any project using this hackathon, you should be using Rust or Anchor, or Rust and Anchor for your smart contract logic, so that you can have a better chance of winning. You can see Solana at this top here. So sponsored by Solana. So you don't want to be using Solidity you don't want to be using Solidity or any other smart contract language that is not Rust. So now Grok has replied me back. Here's a complete, realistic step-by-step guide to build blah 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 front end. Okay. So they said phase one, set up your development environment. Look out, install prerequisite Rust. Now I already have all this installed. And I have them installed. So here's my Ubuntu terminal. I have them installed already. So I've been working on it here already, as you can see, but for the sake of this video, I'm creating a new one for the sake of this video. So I have them installed. And if I should copy this, for example, to verify if it has been installed, and I go here and I hit enter, you can see the version is here. You can see the version is there. So now if you're participating in this hackathon and you want to build, you can also follow me by typing your project idea and giving it context. And this is the same thing to tell you to install. So you should also be installing this if you want to follow up while I'm building. Now, if I should do Solana version 2, of course, Anchor, Node, I have everything installed. And they said create the Anchor project. This is your smart contract. So they said Anchor init, add blink, then CD into add blink. Okay. So I'll be copying this Anchor init, add blink, and I'll be pasting it here. Oops, sorry, I didn't copy it well. Let me just copy this, but I'll not be naming it add blink. Because I already have a project called add blink, so it won't conflict it. So I'll be naming it add blinks. I'll be putting S and be hitting enter, and we'll wait for it to initialize. Now, basically, what we are doing is we are just following the instructions Grok is giving us. Now, you can see it told me to first install these 3 things, which I have already done. So that's why I skipped it. So you can install it on your end first. Then you verify using these 4 commands. And once done, you switch to this. And you can see it's currently installing, so we are going to wait for it. So while we're waiting, if you have any questions, you can ask. And one thing about vibe coding is you have to be very, very patient because it takes time. I mean, you're not coding traditionally, you are vibe coding. So AI is like doing all the heavy work for you. So during that time, you can be listening to music, you can be watching a movie, depends on what you want to do. So now it's done. Add blinks is initialized. Now the next thing it said was to cd into add blinks. So that means cd means go into the add blinks directory. So this is where we are going to start coding. So it tells us to go into the folder of the projects. So cd add blinks. Remember with an S. So yours will be your project name. Your project name is definitely not add blinks. You can't copy my project, but if you want to copy my project, fine. So project structure. It said this is the project structure actually. Now, how do we know this project structure here? He said we are going to see programs slash add blink slash whatever tests, anchor.toml, cargo.toml, and the rest. Now, how do we know this? I can know this by typing code space and full stop, and I'll hit enter. So this will pop up my Visual Studio Code. That is where we are going to see our code structure. So this thing here is my terminal. It is my terminal. So it's it's not, if you have WSL installed, which is Windows subsystem for Linux or Ubuntu, you can search for Ubuntu and power it up, and you are going to see this thing. So some people prefer to use the inbuilt terminal in VS Code, but which you can whip up by clicking on terminal here and clicking on new terminal, which is this. Sorry, terminal, new terminal. So yeah, so you can open VS Code and use this directly. Actually, you can open VS Code and use this directly. This terminal here, you can adjust it here by pushing this up. You can see add blinks, CD. We are already in add blinks, so you can use this terminal. But because of space, I don't really use this. But you can use this, like I said. But I don't really use this, so I'm just going to be closing it, and I'll be zooming it a little bit. Yep. So there we go. Now, all what we did here is what gave us all these things here. So what I just did was follow the instruction from Grok, which is anchor init add blinks, and it's installed all these packages for me. And this is what you see here, which is app, migrations, node modules. You can see all this bunch of files. It was installed with just one command. You can see targets, tests, blah, blah, blah. So there we go. And yeah, we're good to go. So let's go on to the next. Now configure for DevNet, edit anchor.toml. So I'm going to be copying this. Then I'm going to be, they said I should edit anchor.toml. Click on anchor.toml, Control A, Control V. Yep, and there we go. So Control A, Control V. The next, so that is configured. Generate a new wallet if you don't have one. Then, okay. So Solana keygen new, copy. So I'll be pasting this in my Ubuntu terminal, but I do not want, if I paste this, you're going to be seeing my source code and my phrase, sorry. So I don't want to do that. So I would hide it and paste it over here by myself. So I'll be hiding it. Solana keygen new, and I'll be using. You know what? I don't need to do that because I already have a wallet. So doing that means it will be overriding my previous wallet. So let me just leave it. And let me set this here. So copy. Yep. Commitment confirmed. Key pair paths roots confirmed. So you can see, if I did not have a wallet, this would have brought error. So that's great. So no errors so far. That's awesome. I was expecting us to have gotten an error by now. And yes, this session is recorded. So if you have any questions currently, you can ask, as we are currently vibe coding. So I'm just following the instructions basically. Okay. So they say I should update the program slash add slash blink slash src slash lib.rs. I'll be copying this and I'll be going to my programs add blink slash lib.rs. Programs add blink slash updated. Okay. 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 So there we go. So anchor build. Let's see the invalid base 58 string. Let's copy this. And yeah, after pasting the command and copied, I got the error. So any error you get, Grok would debug it for you. Okay, so fix it. So open this file. Replace the declare ID with your temporary placeholder. I'm going to undo. Oh, declare ID. Oh, I think I understand. It wants me to paste my wallet address, the wallet address of my DevNet wallets. I think that's what it wants me to do. So I look for declare ID. Where is declare ID? Yep, this. And Control V. Yep. I think we are good to go. Your program ID here. Okay. See. Okay. And let's try again and compute. Yep, there we go. So let's wait for it. So how can you join the hackathon? Just type it in the chats. Colosseum. So type that command in the WhatsApp chat using the search feature, just as if you want to search for something in a WhatsApp group, and you see the link, then you can click on it and sign up. So second question, so it's not just VS Code and we are using for vibe coding, because the last one I did, I was just getting error. I don't think I understand you, Noel Snare, but if you want to vibe code, you need to use, if you want to vibe code traditionally for free, you can use Grok and VS Code. Is it necessary to have Ubuntu as well? Yes, it is necessary, because if you are not using a MacBook, you need a Linux, which is Windows subsystem for Linux. on your Windows computer. If you don't have Ubuntu, these commands would not run. They'll be bringing error. So you need to have Ubuntu installed. How can you have Ubuntu installed? You just in your Windows, if you're using Windows, search for Microsoft Store. Search for Microsoft Store in your Windows using the search button, or click on the start button and search for Microsoft Store. Then open Microsoft Store and search for Ubuntu and install it. It will install on your PC. Or you go to YouTube and search for how to install Ubuntu on my Windows laptop. Follow the video or the instruction and install it into your PC, or else these commands will not work. So you need to have Linux installed in your Windows machine, but it's not fully Linux. It's just like a subsystem for Linux, which is also called Ubuntu. But if you're using MacBook, you don't need that. MacBook or Apple laptops will automatically run these commands easily. So I think that should have answered your question. Then another question, you mentioned that there are some hackathons Notion will be able to build. How will we know that? Well, I think last 2 days ago, not on Friday, Notshot announced they did a live stream on Twitter, which is Twitter Spaces, announcing that Notshot can build full stack apps now. So Notshot can build full stack apps now. But there are some features that are not available currently on Notshot, which is the integrating of database currently, but that feature is coming soon. And if you want to participate in some of these hackathons, you need to use a database. But Notshot has not added that feature currently. I mean, the feature is still like a boilerplate on Notshot. It has not even been launched. But you can use Notshot to build your front end of your hackathon, then download the source code. Once you download the source code, import it into VS Code, and once it has been imported into VS Code, use Grok to build your backend logic, which is what I'm teaching you currently. So what we are doing here, I'm just building my backend logic. You can see you've not seen any interface or any landing page of my project yet. All what we are building first is the backend logic. So before the advent of Grok and other AI, do people actually memorize lines of code? Or do people memorize? What people memorize is keywords. I mean, if you want to learn how to code, there's a bunch of courses you need to learn. So people learn the logic, the keyword, and a lot of rules guiding the code. Learning how to code is like learning a new language. English, for example. If you want to learn English, you need to first of all understand the alphabet. You need to understand how to structure grammars, how to how to use punctuations and all. So it's the same thing with coding. There are rules guiding coding too, just like there are rules guiding English language. So if you are done learning English, you can use English to write a letter to a friend or an essay or a composition, something like that. So it's similar to coding. So once you are done learning how to code, you can now start using that code to build stuff. So you can't memorize all the code, but back then before, yeah, people were using Stack Overflow. So Stack Overflow is a developer community where people go and ask for help, paste whatever errors they are getting, and there's a very high probability that somebody else has gone through that error and you're going to see the solution to that code. Or people just go to GitHub and and paste lines of codes, and some people build from scratch. So yeah, so back then, if you want to ship an app like this AdBlink that I'm currently building, you can use up to 4 to 6 months, even a year. But now with AI, you can use a day or two. Isn't that's mind blowing? I mean, if you are not still vibe coding, you're sleeping on it because anybody can, even a 10-year-old can vibe code now. All you just need to do is to understand the steps on how to vibe code, and you'll be vibe coding by yourself. So you can see vibe coding takes a lot of time. Now, this is taking a lot of time to build, and we need to wait for it. You can see it's still compiling and building. Now, during if I'm still waiting, what I do is I can listen to music, I can stretch, take my eyes off the screen, and do some things. So vibe coding is not really stressful at all because you have to just wait for it to do its thing. Yeah, it's more like understanding English. Yes. So since you speak English, learning how to code is like learning Chinese. You just need to understand how to code, and if you understand the code, you can build anything. Okay. Yeah, understand syntax and keywords. Uh you make a good professor, your explanations are easy to understand. Yeah, I've always had passion for educating, even though I'm not really good with educating in public, but at least online, I don't need to see anybody to educate. So I can just, like yap. We're still waiting for it to compile. So this is one of the headaches of web coding. You just have to wait and be patient. And it can be boring. If you do not have patience, you cannot vibe code. Just yesterday, I was vibe coding this yesterday. This ad blink, this same ad blink, of course. Like I said, I am already building this project, but because of this video, I had to start afresh for you. Now, this is what I was going through yesterday. You can see error, error. So I've been trying to fix one error, and look, I spent I spent 24 hours trying to fix just one error, and it just didn't work. So I've been on it since yesterday. You can see I even cleared I even cleared some error. Now you can see. So this is what vibe coding does. I mean, that is why the Colosseum Hackathon is from 6th of May to 6th of April to 11th of May. So you do not have any excuse to not participate in this. You do not have any excuse because you have like 29 days left. So just get started. If you're not understanding anything, um go to the WhatsApp group and ask the question, or go to North Shorts Discord and lay your complaints, and I will guide you on how to go about it. But before I can guide you, I just have to see that you are putting in effort to participate. Make sure you have solid idea. If you don't have an idea on what to build, you can tell Grok to give you a, a good idea. Tell Grok to give you an idea that can win an hackathon. Just tell Grok like that. I want to participate in an hackathon called Colosseum, and I need an idea that can win this hackathon. Then send your prompt. Grok will reply you with multiple project ideas. Then you pick one. And one thing I want you to know about picking a project is make sure that project is something that can be solved locally in your region or in your country. So, for example, there was a person that participated in an hackathon on Arbitrum one time. And what this person did was this person built a project whereby um you can share your Wi-Fi. You can share your Wi-Fi to other people, meaning in remote villages, or in places where there are no networks in Africa, in some African countries, you can just go and buy a voucher, and that's what most Nigerians use in Nigerian universities, where you go and buy a voucher, then you load that voucher, then you tap into the Wi-Fi of your school. So that is what he was doing. He built a project where if you have like a Starlink network, you can generate a voucher code, and people that don't have a network would buy that voucher code and use your Wi-Fi. So he was basically selling voucher. He was basically selling his internet. Now, instead of people locating you to connect to your Starlink, they can connect even from far places. So that is it. So if you are in another city, you can buy a voucher and connect to the user's Starlink. So it was a very good project, and he won the hackathon on Arbitrum. So now, what did he do? He solved the issue of connectivity. He solved the issue of connectivity because the guy lived in like a remote town, and he saw that people did not have adequate internet to participate in things, and he he created a project like that where people can buy vouchers, connect, tap into his own internet, and use it at high speed. And of course, Starlink uses satellite technology for internet, so it does not really rely on the local internet service providers. So, if you want to build a project, make sure it's something is a problem you are currently facing in your region or in your country, and your project can solve that. That is one way to scale, and that is one way you can be invested in the project. So if you want to pitch to the judges, you can first of all talk about the pain points, which is why you are building that project and why that project will be first of all useful for people in your region before scaling. Because of course it's not only in Africa whereby people can access internet in remote places. There are places in South America, North America, Asia where people can access good networks in remote villages. So, but first of all, create a project where create a project that can solve a problem in your own region first before you start thinking of global. Okay, I have another question. Well, my question is about security. How do you make sure vibe coding are secured and not vulnerable? Yeah, that's a very good question. To be honest, a lot of vibe coding apps are not secured, and even with this current anthropic leak that happened last week. So the thing is that AI makes a lot of mistakes, and to be honest, you can build a full-fledged app right now and tell AI to secure it for you, and it will tell you it has secured it. Then somebody can just hack your website or app, and you go and tell the AI that, oh, look, somebody just hacked my website. I thought you have secured it, but the person used so this to hack it. And Grok will be like, oh, you are right. I actually didn't do I actually didn't secure this. So you see, AI can be really dumb too, because that's just the thing. You can tell AI to secure your website for you and doing anything, but because you don't know how to code, or you don't know the basics of um you don't know the basics of securing your authentication key, you don't know the basics of securing your token or your login ID and stuffs like that, which is much more complex and not beginner friendly. But because you don't know how to do that, you not really be aware. So I think if you want to scale, if you want to start scaling your vibe coded project, you need to find somebody that can audit your code and secure your code for you. You need to find somebody. You can partner with a person because you really do not want people to hack into your app and disrupt your app. So you can learn how to secure or how to code in general and secure the code yourself. Now let's see if it is done. Oh, there we go. So we got some errors. Unsolved import rates, blah blah blah. So what I'll do is I'm going to be copying all this error and Control C, and I'll be pasting it in Grok. So I'll tell Grok after I use the command Anchor build, I got this error. And Control V and send. Now let's wait for Grok to. Okay, so now Grok will be fixing it for us. Now I'll have to end the class here because we are way out of time. I wanted to do 30 minutes, but right now you know the basics of vibe coding right now, and you can just replicate this or what I've been doing. You can replicate it, and I've taught you how you can vibe code with Grok now. So this is how you can build or participate in the hackathon. Just follow the instructions. If you're getting any error, paste it to Grok, and it will solve the issue for you. So thank you, everyone, and I'll be waiting for a minute to see if there'll be any questions before I end the live stream. So if you have any questions, you can ask real quick before I end the live stream. And for the rest, you can if you started vibe coding and you have any issues, send me a message on Null Short Discord. I'll be typing the link here. So I'm always active on Null Short Discord. Like I'm active 24/7. So if you really want me to reply you fast, send me a message on No Shots Discord. And yeah. And I'll attend to you. So you can participate in the Colosseum Hackathon and at least get some funds from this. So the Discord link is on the screen. You can join. And yep. Okay. Thank you. So I'm guessing there are no questions. I'm guessing there are no questions. Okay. Okay, but if anybody has any question here, you can ask in the Discord. Our next class should be on Git and Vercel. I had serious time using them. Yes. Why I don't want to dive into Vercel and Git right now is because we have not built anything. So if okay, yeah, you're right. So if the project has been, I'm going to be using a project that I already built, and I'm going to be hosting the project using pushing the project to Git and pushing to Vercel. So the logic with Git and Vercel is if you're using VS Code, it's actually very easy when it comes to Git and Vercel. What I just do is I come here, which is over here, this source control here, and I click on commits. So when I click on commits, having it was because I was using CLI commands, but now I just click buttons here, click on this, click on commit, initialize my Git, then push and commits, then it goes into my GitHub, and from GitHub I fetch it to Vercel, and Vercel publishes it live. So that is a tutorial for another class. Yeah, so people have that kind of issues. I once had the issue, but what I'll tell you is don't use CLI, which is what I mean by CLI is don't use your terminal to be pushing to Git or to be pulling to Git. Use VS Code, use the buttons here. You'll be good to go. Yep. So any more questions? Yeah, in the next class we'll be doing Git and Vercel. So in the absence of no questions, we'll be ending the live stream. So thank you everyone, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.